November 19, 1963. Wall Street. The New York Stock Exchange faces an abrupt liquidity crisis as rumors spread regarding the imminent bankruptcy of a major commodities brokerage. The firm had issued millions in loans secured by a massive industrial asset pool located at a naval storage yard in Bayonne, New Jersey. The entire asset pool was a physical fabrication. The individual who orchestrated the crisis was Tino Angelis, an aggressive commodities trader operating the Allied Crude vegetable oil refining company. Angelis discovered that the United States government was actively subsidizing the export of surplus vegetable oil to developing nations under a federal humanitarian program. Angelis wanted to corner this market. To finance his massive expansion, he needed millions in immediate capital. He approached Wall Street's most elite financial institutions, including a specialized warehousing subsidiary of American Express. He offered a simple proposition. He would use his massive inventory of refined soybean and salad oil stored in Bayonne as collateral for the loans. American Express accepted the terms, issuing official warehouse receipts that certified the physical presence of millions of pounds of valuable oil. Wall Street treated these warehouse receipts as cash, but the storage yard was an industrial theater. While the official ledgers stated that Angelis possessed more vegetable oil than the entire inventory of the United States, the massive steel tanks held a completely different substance. To maintain a multi-million-dollar fraud from a single office, Angelis exploited a basic law of physics. Oil floats on water. In a standard commodities operation, independent inspectors routinely visit storage facilities to verify inventory. They climb to the roof of the massive industrial tanks, open the inspection hatches, and drop long, weighted measuring tapes to calculate the exact volume of the liquid inside. Angelis designed a precise structural deception to trick these inspectors. He ordered his workers to fill the massive steel storage tanks almost entirely with regular water. Once the tanks were nearly full, they pumped a thin layer of genuine soybean oil right onto the surface. The mechanism worked flawlessly against routine audits. Whenever the independent inspectors lowered their measuring devices from the roof, the sticks only ever coated themselves in the top layer of oil. They looked at the grease, smelled the salad oil, and officially certified the entire multi-million-gallon volume as premium inventory. The internal logistics were highly coordinated. Angelis connected his tanks through a hidden network of underground pipes. If an inspector requested to see a specific tank that hadn't been treated, Angelis's crew would secretly pump the thin layer of oil from one tank to another while the inspectors were walking across the catwalks. The same small pool of oil was used to validate dozens of different structures, generating a compounding tower of fraudulent loan credits. The illusion sustained itself for over 3 years because the lending institutions trusted physical paper receipts over direct forensic verification. American Express compliance officers frequently visited the yard, but they relied entirely on the measurements provided by the corrupted dipping sticks, completely blind to the reality that they were financing thousands of tons of New Jersey tap water. Angelis utilized the fraudulent loans to aggressively manipulate the futures market, driving the price of soybean oil artificially high. The system finally shattered in late 1963, when anonymous tips regarding Angelis's banking irregularities forced a surprise, comprehensive inventory audit. Inspectors arrived with specialized core sampling tubes capable of drawing liquid from the very bottom of the structures, bypassing the surface layer entirely. The math collapsed instantly. The sampling tubes emerged filled with water. Investigators discovered that over 1.8 billion pounds of vegetable oil were completely missing from the site. Allied Crude filed for immediate bankruptcy, leaving Wall Street banks holding worthless warehouse receipts for an asset that did not exist. The exposure of the salad oil swindle resulted in immediate, widespread institutional panic. 2 major Wall Street brokerage firms collapsed into liquidation within 48 hours. The stock price of American Express plummeted by over 50%, wiping out millions in shareholder value and forcing a direct emergency intervention by the New York Stock Exchange to prevent a systemic market crash. Federal authorities arrested Tino Angelis at his corporate office. In 1965, Angelis pled guilty to multiple counts of conspiracy and fraud. He was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison, with the court concluding that he had single-handedly executed the largest commodities fraud in American history. He served 7 years before his release. The Allied crude scandal demonstrated that elite financial institutions can be entirely dismantled by a single individual who understands how to weaponize administrative trust. It proved that a multi-million-dollar ledger is only as real as the substance inside the vault, leaving an enduring historical lesson. On Wall Street, an empire can be built on nothing more than a thin layer of grease.